Hello, everyone. Welcome to Storytime. I'm Trisha. I work at the public library, St. Public Library. If you haven't been with us before, welcome. We're going to read some books about spring today. We've had some beautiful spring weather after our first official day of spring. This is our fourth recorded story time for March. There's one more, and then we'll be on to April. April, I think we're going to start, fingers crossed, having some in-person story times. We will be doing that outside. I'll pick a couple of destinations and I'll let people know. You will have to register for those because we'll have to limit how many people are attending. But anyway, let me switch cameras and we'll read a book about growing things. We're going to talk about spring and growing things and flowers and mud, of course, because we do have that funny season here that we call mud season. So let me switch cameras. The first one we're going to read is What Will Grow? I never have quite enough room on my desk to show the pictures of these books. What Will Grow by Jennifer Ward, and the illustrations are by Susie Ramani. Hard to say. This is a Bloomsbury book. Rolly round, rain-soaked ground. What will grow? I'm going to cover the word. Do you know what these are? I grow these in my garden. I love to eat them right off the vine. Did you guess it? Can you tell what those are? Peas. Look at that worm coming up. Worms like to come up out of the ground when it rains. Seeds sow in a row. Looks like the mice are helping. What do you think these little seeds could be? What will grow? Can you tell what these are? It looks sort of like lettuce to me. Let's see what they are. This is a fun book because you open the page again this way. I was right. Did look like lettuce. Shiny, brown, bumpy crown. Shiny brown with a bumpy crown. Do you know what those are? And who likes to eat them? Those called the acorns. The squirrels like to eat them. They like to bury them, save them. Do you know what an acorn will grow if it's left in the dirt? An oak tree. It will take it a very long time to look like that. I have these all over my yard. Fluffy white taking flight. What will grow? This is a type of flower. Now, when it matures, all the petals turn these white fluffy things, and the wind or you pick them off and blow them around. Do you know what they are? Bees love them. They're called dandelions. A lot of people feel that these are weeds and they don't like them in their yard. They're actually a flower. They're actually an edible flower. You can actually eat dandelions. You can eat dandelion leaves also. And they're one of the first food sources for the bees in the springtime. So I try not to dig mine up. Very tiny, then so viney. How? Wow, what will grow? Very tiny, then so viney. What could that be? What grows on a vine? Oh, the looks like the fox is eating it. Do you know what those little things are? Did you guess tomatoes? You guessed right. Sometimes you grow cherry tomatoes. They're little tomatoes that only get about that big. But sometimes you can grow big tomatoes and you have to tie them up so they don't fall over because they get so heavy. Stripy, black, a crunchy snack. Do you know what those are? That's something that the birds like to eat and people like to eat them also. This goldfinch is eating it. What will grow? Did you guess what this little seed was? Ooh, this one opens a different way. That's a long page in that book. These can grow very, very tall. Did you guess sunflower? They're sunflower seeds, and birds love to eat them. Soft, hairy on the prairie. Soft, hairy on the prairie. We don't actually have a prairie around here, but we do have this plant, and butterflies like to lay eggs in it. What will grow? Have you ever seen these floating around? They sort of remind you of the dandelions, but they have a little black seed attached to it. Sometimes that seed is kind of brown. They're called milkweeds. It has a flower and then it grows kind of a pod. And inside the pod are these seeds attached to these feathery, not exactly sure what I would call those. It's a feathery part of the plant. And it's very light and the wind blows it all around. They come out of these pods. And the butterflies like to lay eggs on them. Peck, peck, dark speck. Peck, 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 dark speck. Well, that could be almost anything, right? What will grow? Lots of seeds are dark. This page kind of gives you a hint. Prediction, right? If you look only at this page, what is that? Apple seeds, and apple seeds will grow a apple tree. Oh, these we like to eat also. Oval, flat, soon, fat. What will grow? Do you recognize those seeds? We get these seeds from a vegetable in the fall. We like to toast them in the oven. It's really messy getting them out of the plant. Do you know what it is? Oval, flat, and soon fat. Did you guess a pumpkin? It's really messy getting all those pumpkin seeds out of it, isn't it? Flowery fruit, orange root. Oh, that's giving you a hint right there too. Well, and so is this. What is this? So rabbit. What do rabbits like to eat? What will grow? This is something that the part that you eat grows into the ground. You have to pull it out. What is it? Did you guess? Oh, this one opens down. The feathery part is the part that grows up where you can see it. And the orange root of the carrot is the part that grows down in the ground. Unlike other fruits and vegetables that we grow, that the roots are down in the ground and the part you eat is up here. Beige bead, chunky seed. What will grow? This is another one. The radish, the part that we eat, goes down under the dirt. Do you like radishes? I don't eat too many radishes. Oh, snug, tight, paper light. We know what that is. Pine cone. Do you know what grows? There's seeds inside a pine cone. Grows a what? A pine tree. Dark, deep, fast, asleep. Huh, what could that be? Look at all the things in this. It's a mole. It's a lot of seeds. There's some worms. There's some ants. What will grow? Oh, that was clever. Look at, there's a lot of different kinds of seeds. And in my garden, there's lots of different fruits and vegetables and flowers and trees. That was kind of neat. In the back of this book, this is a library book. It's under Nature, Flowers, and Plants. That's where you'll find it. And it talks about different kinds of seeds that we read about and how to grow. Seed comes a sprout, grows some roots, then it's a flower. And then on this plant, this is a sunflower, you can harvest the seeds and plant it again or eat them. I do like to eat them. Here's a book. This is also a library book. It's under Nature Seasons, and it is written by Mary Lynn Ray, and the illustrations are by Lauren Stinger. And the title of this book says Mud. Because we have a lot of snow and it gets very wet when the snow melts, when you grow up here in New England, we often call it mud season. This is a Harcourt, Bruce and Company book. Now this is a big book. I might have to move my camera. We'll see. Let's see. What if I put my camera up here a little bit more? You'll be able to see it. One night it happens. Maybe it begins in the warmth of the day and the night only releases the scent. But it's always at night when it happens. Someone opening a door will notice. Earth becomes unfrozen. A cold, sweet smell rises from the ground like sap in the snow. Is that giving you a picture in your brain? One morning, brown leaves loosen from their frozen drifts and run rattling in a flapping wind. I think that happened to us this past week, right? Small scattered stones where the sun has seen them will thaw pools of grass. Right? When the snow starts to melt, the hills will remember their colors. The snow will melt. You'll start to see the color underneath it. Winter will squish, squawk, sop, splat, slurp, melt into mud. Happy mud. Stir it, stick it, dig it, dance it. gooey, gloppy, mucky, magnificent mud. It's fun to play in the mud. Come spring, come grass, come green. This book has some wonderful pictures of you enjoying, of a child enjoying playing in the mud. It squishes between your toes and your hands. You can get really dirty during mud season, right? Make sure you ask your mom or dad if it's okay to play in the mud before you do it. I'm going to switch the camera back because, oh, that's not what I want. Let's switch the camera so you can see me again. I'll move that one out of the way. Hopefully this is going to work. I found a wonderful book when I was doing a search on spring books, and the libraries don't have it, so I put it on our list to buy, but I managed to get it through my Amazon account, and hopefully I'm going to share my screen and I'll read you this book. Let's see. There it is. Okay, this works. I'm going to move this picture so I can see all the words. On my screen, I have a little picture of me up in the corner. And then there's this big picture of the book. I Am Spring. This book was written by Rebecca and James McDonald. I am spring. After the cold of winter, I'm the season when the sun starts to slowly warm the land and everything begins to grow again. Flowers open and show their bright colors. Animals and insects come out of hiding, and new life is born into the world. One way that people can tell it's the first day of spring is the light of day lasts as long as the dark of night. This is called the spring equinox. The first day of spring was on Saturday. During spring, each day the sun rises a little earlier and sets a little later in the afternoon, making the days longer and brighter. This book has beautiful pictures. Bright weather means that the dirt is warmer, so seeds sprout and push their way up towards the sun. Spring is one of the growing seasons when seeds grow into vegetables that then can be picked and eaten. We just talked about that. High up in the sky, when warm spring air mixes with cold ocean air, it can cause bursts of rain showers, watering the land and helping things to grow. We just talked about those too, right? It also shows rainbows. Bees and other insects come out of hiding and visit flowers for a sip of sweet nectar and a bit of pollen. What do the bees make with that? Do you remember? Do they make honey? Many birds that flew away to avoid the cold winter return with the warm sunshine of spring skies. When birds travel to far-off places for better weather and more food, scientists call this, you remember, right? Migration. As spring warms the land, the sound of birdsong fills the air. Birds chirp, tweet, and trill, calling out to meet each other and to claim the areas where they want to live. Spring is also the time for building nests and laying eggs. While birds are up high, frogs and toads are down low, laying eggs in the ponds, under leaves. Sometimes they even carry eggs around on their backs. There's plenty to eat in the warmth of spring. Spring sunshine and the smells of growing foods wake up sleepy animals that rest during the cold months. Do you remember what we call that? When animals sleep during the winter, they go into a deep sleep. Some of them hibernate. We skipped a page. With the warm sun and lots of food, spring is the perfect season for babies to grow. See those skunk babies? Bare branches on trees begin to sprout new leaves, and some will also grow blossoms. Blossoms is another way to say flowers. A gentle spring breeze, moving through blossoming branches can make it feel like it's raining flowers. Plants, like trees, are very helpful with keeping the air clean. They remove pollution through their leaves and catch dust and other floating particles on their branches and their bark. With all the new growth in the spring, there are lots of plants to clean the air. One way people help to keep the air clean is by planting new trees and taking care of the plants that are already here. When the days become longer than the night, the leaves begin to sprout on bare branches, and bugs and animals that are hiding start to reappear. And get ready, because that means spring is here. Oh, I didn't see these. These are baby ducks. See, that's a dad and a mom, and they're raising their ducklings. At the end of this book, it has questions to make you think about what we read. Like this question says, what is another word for flower? Do you remember that? Blossom. And these are some other books that were written by the same people, Rebecca and James McDonald. All right, I'm going to stop the share. That was pretty cool. I'm really glad that I got that to work. That is a wonderful book. I'm hoping the library can get it so that you can actually take it out. But I did find it on Amazon, and if you have an Amazon Kindle membership, you can borrow that book just like I did. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and maybe I'll see you guys in person in a couple of weeks. We will continue to do online story hours for a while. I'm not sure when we'll stop doing that. Hopefully soon we can have people in the library doing story time, but while the weather's nice, we'll be meeting outside. So I'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed our stories on spring today. Bye, everybody.